Hello, Gary Hernandez here, and welcome to Cane Self-Defense with Master Gary Hernandez. Happy New Year's, everybody. We are in 2021, and we had just kicked 2020 to the curb. Good riddance. Now, starting off this year, the first video I'm going to do is something I talked about in a video a week ago. I'm going to be doing a couple new series. One of those new series is called Brand New to the Cane. And basically, that is for somebody who has never picked up a cane before to use it for self-defense. And this could even be for someone from decades ago that maybe now decided to pick up the cane and use it for self-defense, even though they had used it in the past to walk. So you can be brand new totally with it, or brand new to you using it for self-defense. So the first thing you want to be able to do is get a cane that you can use to practice and train with. There are so many different kind of training canes. The one I happen to have right here is a Cane Masters training cane, and this one is basically no thrills, no frills, just a good solid piece of oak and nice and solid to use for whatever you got to do. And if you drop it, you're not going to damage an expensive cane. It runs about $40. I'll have a link below if you're interested in something like this. But it's a good cane to practice with, let alone walk on the streets with. So once you find out a cane that you're going to want to use, and you can use really much any cane that you feel comfortable with, and then you're going to want to have it for your height. Now there's ways to measure, from the hip area to your palm. Sometimes they tell you to have your arm bent a bit. There's a couple different ways. I'm going to let you solve that one. Go online, Google best size cane for my height, but understand something. If you're small and short, that means you're going to have a smaller cane. So depending on what you're going to use it for, if you're going to use it for just walking, then you want to have it perfectly balanced for you for walking. But if you're going to use it for defense, self-defense, you may want it a little bit longer. Depends on your personal preference. You're going to figure that out as you're learning and training. Now, with a basic cane, there's 3 main strikes you can do. And I'm going to talk about that real quick. But before I do, the first thing you have to be able to do once you find a cane you're going to want to use is you're going to want to be able to get the cane and pick it up. If you cannot pick the cane up, and remember, this is brand new for people, what this video series is. If you cannot pick the cane up to defend yourself, it's not going to do you any good. So if you have bad arthritis or an injury, something that's stopping you from picking this cane up, you either A, need to figure out how to correct that, whether maybe you need to strengthen your arms, whether you're using resistor bands, and I'll be showing that in these videos down the road, or some weight training, some push-ups, something to get you a little upper body strength to be able to pick the cane up. Or maybe you just need a little bit of assistance. Maybe you want to just kind of kick the cane up so you can get it to your hands and go from there. But if you cannot pick it up to defend yourself, it does you no good. Now, the 3 main strikes you're going to be learning basically are swinging strikes, thrusting bayonet style strikes, and straight up rifle style strikes. And those are the ones we're going to be covering in these videos. Now I'm going to cover right now, one of the simplest ones is a 2-handed bayonet strike. Again, this is brand new for people that have never touched the cane, starting off in 2021. From here, I'm simply going to pick the cane up, turn my body a little bit angled, and hold the cane at a comfortable mid-level height. I don't want to have it up here. I don't want to be slouched down here with it, because if I'm bending, I'm top heavy and I'm going to go over. So I want to be able to simply pick my cane up. Now, I can step, since it's in my right hand, I can step forward with my left foot and turn this way, and I can strike with the tip. If they're coming a little bit faster than I'm anticipating, I can step back, pick the cane up, and strike with my crook. So you can strike with either side. There is a difference. If you've seen some of my videos in the past, you will understand that if you're going into the body, I prefer the tip because it's going to concentrate more of an injury impact. If you're going to the face or a smaller level, I don't want to have something that may miss, so I would prefer to hit with the crook because now I have a larger surface. But that is something that you're going to want to practice with on both and get used to them. So from a sideward angle, I'm turning and I'm grabbing the cane mid-level. I notice my horn. If you have a cane that has the crook with the horn, or if you have a ball one, or even like a small walking stick that's just straight, you don't have to worry about that. But if you have a hook, you're not going to want to have that hook facing in toward your body. That's going to A, maybe catch on clothing. B, if it's a sharp hook, maybe catch on you. And C, if you happen to have any kind of a bag you're carrying, if ladies are carrying a purse or a man's carrying some kind of a duffel bag or something, or briefcase or knapsack, you might catch the handle part, not the handle, but the part that you have your strap, and stop you from being able to defend yourself. Then you have a problem. So you want to be able to turn and have your horn facing away from the body. That's going to protect you in a lot of different ways. Now, this is the two-handed strike. Why two hands? I'm going to have more strength. I'm going to have more control on my cane. I turn. I have my cane mid-level. Again, don't have it real high. When you're going with a bayonet strike, you can simply shift your weight forward. You can shift backwards if they're right on top of you, but you obviously have more power going forward. So from here, I simply come up, step slide, and hit. If I'm at an angle, I simply come up, step slide, and hit. And the target areas you want to hit, Mr. Bob, may I borrow you for a minute? If you're brand new to the cane, if you're brand new to this channel, this is Mr. Bob Kelly, one of our cane instructors, and he's going to assist me with this video. So Mr. Bob, we'll just go ahead and open up like this, but turn it a little bit at an angle. When you're doing a bayonet strike, you're striking target areas. You have multiple areas to strike depending on how serious the situation is. Not too serious and you're trying to get somebody off you without causing too much injury. Let's say it's some guy you know, you don't want to hit him too hard. You know him, maybe legal reasons, maybe it's, drunk Uncle Bob, not you, Mr. Bob, or drunk Uncle Barry. You can hit him with that nice bayonet strike in the stomach area. Now, you got somebody that's not drunk or sober, a little bit more coming at you, you're going to want to go for the solar plex. Striking into that solar plex, if you hit them just right, you will see what they had for lunch. If you have to, you can also, well, right now you can also catch the shoulder area. If you're starting to throw a punch off that side, I can catch that shoulder area, hit them, and kind of draw them back a bit. So these are non-lethal targeting areas, but they are going to hurt. If I have to, I can go to the throat or face level, and I can also go to the pelvic, groin, or knee area. Now, when I talked about earlier being able to use either side, remember, if you're a beginner, you need to understand that your cane in self-defense, you can use this end, you can use this end, and you can use everything in between. So as I'm striking to a larger area, and when we hit a bag all day long, we're pretty accurate. But in real life, we're going to be nervous, sweating, maybe scared. We have to try to react. Our timing and our accuracy may be off a bit. So I want to be able to make sure I'm going to get a bite of something. So as I'm striking, at least I'm going to get a bite here. When I'm going to a smaller target, I would prefer to use a bigger striking area as my crook. So now I have this much of a striking area versus this much. And then from here, I can get to the face a lot better, into the throat, hit him in the pelvic, or even the knee. Now, understand, here, more damage will be done, and this could cause severe injury. If I hit him in the throat, if I crush his larynx, obviously I could kill him. So there's a major legal problem there. Even if you're defending your life, which you do want to defend your life, and when you see my Savage Cane series, I get more into detail on that. So you want to strike only if you really have no other option to target areas like that. So again, this is me, just my preferred, using a wider, bigger area to smaller target areas so I know I'm not going to miss, and using a smaller area for a bigger area, so I have more concentrated hitting power. Does that mean I can't do this with the smaller area or do this with the larger area? No, you can. When you're practicing and you're hitting something solid, you start to understand the difference of why. Thank you, sir. So work your bayonet strike. That's the first one in the series we're going to do because it's a pretty simple one. I just simply turn. I can also, if you watch how I do this, I can do this technique anywhere, between two cars, in close quarter combat, as well as in a larger area, and strike. So work that bayonet strike for your first one. Gary Hernandez, thank you very much. It's good to be back to see everybody out there again, which I know I don't see you, but I will someday. Gary Hernandez, thank you, and I will see you guys real soon.